So, good morning, everybody. Our topic for today is about training current employees. Employee training and development can help employees become better at their jobs and overcome performance gaps that are based on lack of knowledge or skills. This can help organizations and teams be more productive and obtain improved business outcomes, leading to a competitive advantage over other companies. This will be presented by our team. My name is Richmond Valledo.
I'm Kathryn Jinky Fangon.
I am Marneli Lim.
And I am Froilan Imatong. Today we're gonna present about training of current employees. So many organizations consider training is a crucial step in overboarding a new employees. However, after the first few months or years, training can be or may be neglected as attention returns to the daily concerns of the employees. Nonetheless, there are many goals for providing ongoing professional development and training opportunities, especially for the current employees. The following are the goals and objectives for the training of current employees. First, explain the task or the training, the significance and relevance to the profession. A thorough explanation of the task or a training can help the employee focus on the task that contributes to the training's overall goals. Provide a thorough demonstration of each step. It is critical for the trainer to provide a proper demonstration of the procedure in order to follow them correctly and avoid misconception and delays. Monitor and observe the employee as they execute the training. This can be accomplished by assessing the employee's ability to adapt and learn from the task or the training provided, as well as observing if the employees adhere to the standards required for the training. It is also promotes autonomy of the employees so they can be given a freedom to work independently, which can lead them to a sense of personal meaning to a higher quality of work. Another is to demonstrate optimism in the employee's ability to succeed. Giving them positive feedback improves the chance that the employee will feel motivated to continue doing well and excelling at their job or training. It is also provide to improve their self-confidence, correct them as needed, and continue with the training. Providing them to improve their self-confidence will increase employees' morale, can lead to increased productivity, a more positive workplace culture, and increased employee retention. And lastly, to conduct consistent follow-up for the employee's performance. This will be used to monitor the works or the employee's quality. So let us define the importance of training, what is training, and what is development. So the importance of training is to lead to a better process and business growth. It is indispensable. It provides employees with greater understanding of the organization's processes, procedure, and goals. What is training? Training is a process in which the companies use to teach employees skills they needed for the current job. Training is a specific activity that imparts new knowledge or abilities to both newly hired and promoted employees as well as the current employees. Both are critical responsibility of the human resources professional who are typically in charge of initiating and implementing these initiatives. So what is development? Development focuses on the career progression of every employees. So this is the organizational details and responsibilities. First, improve the client satisfaction, and adequate training and development, identify the suitable resources, understanding purpose and goals, good communication, and lastly, deploying a wide variety of training methods.
So, health and safety legislations in Canada. What is the Canada Labor Code or the Code? It's an act of the Parliament of Canada that defines the rights and responsibilities of workers and employers in federally regulated places and sets out federal labor law. It has three rights of employees. First, the right to know about the health and safety matters means that you have the right to be informed by the employer of known or likely hazards in the workplace and to be provided with information, instructions, education, and training, and also supervision necessary to protect the health and safety of employees. For example, safe use of equipment and machinery, reporting mechanisms of substandard working conditions. Next would be the right to participate in decisions that could affect their health and safety. This right allows workers to have input on the steps taken by the employer to ensure health and safety. Workers can provide input on what would make the workplace safe by participating as a member of the Health and Safety Committee, being a health and safety representative for the workplace when given the opportunity, reporting any concerns whenever they encounter a health and safety matter that could cause harm to your health and safety. Lastly, would be the right to refuse. Right to refuse work that could affect their health and safety and that of others. The right to refuse is normally used when the first two rights fail to ensure your health and safety. Exercising this right is serious and should not be done lightly or as a routine method of solving problems. Canadian Center for Occupational Health and Safety. It assists in the creation and maintenance of healthy workplaces by delivering trustworthy, authoritative training and education programs to employers and their organizations. Here in Canada, every workplace is regulated by either federal, which for examples like the banks, marine shipping, air transportation, radio and television broadcasting, or the provincial, for example, the health professionals, teachers, utility workers. Also, provincial government must abide by the respective provincial or territorial occupational health and safety legislation. According to Ontario Regulation 297/13 or the Canada Occupational Health and Safety Act, they have this awareness training for workers, a basic occupational health and safety awareness training program for workers includes the duties and rights of workers, the duties of employers and supervisors under this act, the roles of health and safety representatives and also the joint health and safety committees under the act, the roles of the ministry, the workplace safety and insurance board, designated under the section 22.5 of this act, the common workplace hazards and the requirements set out in Regulation 869 or the Workplace Hazardous Materials Information System or the WHMIS. Lastly would be the occupational illness, including the latency. So there are 4 medical risk classification in Canada, and there are a lot of medical devices covered with using a 16 set of rules found in the Canadian Medical Devices Regulation. This will be shown later in the video. So the classification 1 or the class 1 has low potential risk. It has minimal regulatory document, oversight, lowest potential risk. For example, the powered wheelchair, bandages, non-powered surgical tools, or splints. The class 2 would be the medium risk. The majority usually of the new classes of the medical devices coming onto the market every year are classified as the class 2. Example, disinfectant solutions, ultrasound machines, radiographic equipment, and powered hospital beds. The class 3 would be having the medium to high risk. Example, like the pacemakers or the implantable defibrillators, insulin pumps, orthopedic, and breast implants. Class 3 also use the path to clearance is via pre-market approval or the PMA. This has a pre and post-market data requirement. It also includes the clinical data or the data in humans. PMA devices are usually novel technologies like permanent implants or life-sustaining devices. Lastly would be the class 4 or the highest potential risk. This is an example of the classification system. The spot check oximeter or the home or bedside. Let's watch this.
Within the classification rules for non-in vitro diagnostic medical devices, there are 16 different rules within the Canadian medical device regulations. We have invasive devices, we have non-invasive devices, active devices, and the special rules. One of the things that I will show you just very quickly, this is just an image of one of the pages showing the active devices. Those active devices contain 5 separate rules. We'll look into those in a little bit. Maybe we can apply them to this question. Here's an oximeter. Is it a class 1, 2, 3, or 4 medical device? Well, we can go back to the page that we were looking at just a moment ago, and this is quite an eye chart, so we'll add on a little bit of clarity here, and we can look through. Let's start with Rule 8. That oximeter we were looking at, does it emit ionizing radiation? No. Rule 9, does it administer or withdraw energy to or from the body? No. Rule 10, does it image or monitor physiological processes? Yes, it does monitor a physiological process. In this case, Rule 11 doesn't apply, and since we've already found one that does apply, Rule 10, that means that Rule 12 does not apply since it refers to all others. When we look at this, we can look down from Rule 10 and see it's a class 2. There are other provisions that it may apply to, but what we've discovered from this analysis is that the spot check oximeter is a class 2 by Rule 10.1.
So the regulatory requirements for class 1 to 4 devices is called the medical device. The medical device establishment license or the MDEL. This is issued for importing or selling medical devices for human use in Canada, but there are exemptions like in healthcare facility or a retailer or manufacturer that only imports or distributes through an MDEL holder. There are 2 health issues for EHR-based medical devices. First would be without the proper regulatory monitoring, unapproved EHR-based medical devices may be available on the Canadian market and in clinical usage. Second would be EHR makers' information to healthcare institutions, clinicians, and users concerning adding or updating medical devices inside an EHR system may be inadequate. EHR-based medical devices is also an example of classification system in Canada. So EHR is an application software program or algorithms used as or an information system to electronically receive, collect, store, manage, display output, and distribute data.
Continuous nursing development is important for the growth and professional development of nursing employees. However, there are several barriers that may hinder the process of training current employees in nursing. Some of these barriers includes work overload due to professional commitments. This refers to a situation where an individual is overwhelmed with work or tasks due to their professional commitments. For example, a nurse may be assigned to work longer hours, take on extra duties, or manage a higher number of patients than they can handle. This can lead to stress, burnout, and reduced productivity. Number two, insufficient fund. This refers to a situation where there is not enough money to finance a particular project or initiative. For example, a healthcare facility may not have enough funds to purchase new medical equipment, hire additional staff, or provide necessary training to nurses. This can hinder the facility ability to provide quality healthcare services. Number three, lack of resources. This refers to a situation where there is a shortage of essential resources required to perform a task or achieve a goal. For example, a healthcare facility may lack sufficient medical supplies, equipment, or personnel to provide adequate care to patients. This can lead to delays in treatment, increased risk of infections, and poor patient outcomes. And last, resistance to change for training current nurses. This refers to a situation where nurses are unwilling or hesitant to undergo training or adopt new practices or technologies. For example, some nurses may resist learning new electronic medical record systems or implementing evidence based practices. This can hinder the facility's ability to provide high quality care and keep up with advancement in the field. Some strategies to overcome these barriers will be discussed to you by Marneli Lim.
Supporting nurses' professional development keeps everyone up to date on the most recent techniques, technology, and evidence used to provide quality patient care. It also promotes career advancement and leadership development for nurses who want to take on more responsibilities. As nurse leaders, we are in charge of promoting nurses' growth and education. However, how can we overcome the barriers that prevent nurses from participating in professional development? Now let us discuss about the strategies. Number one is by motivational interviewing. Motivational interviewing involves sitting down with the nurse to identify motivations and needs, followed by developing a realistic strategies to meet identified goals. Motivational interviewing also fosters trust between you and the nurse and provides nurses with a sense of control over their own professional development. Second would be by bringing education to the nurses. Common barriers to nurses' professional development include the cost of continuing education, the inability to schedule time off to provide education, and individuals' childcare or household requirements. How can we resolve this barrier? It is by giving nurses access to in-house continuing education and professional development. We should set up a coverage system so that the nurses can safely hand off assignments and attend to patients. Professional development is not only found in classrooms and lecture halls, but online as well. There are many organizations such as the CDC that provide free webinars to learn about the new guidelines. These webinars can be attended at home and are convenient to nurses who cannot travel for a live class outside of work hours. Aside from that, they can also learn online at their own pace. Number three is to encourage shared governance. One good example is if there is a hospital infection prevention meeting every month at the same time, we should encourage our unit-based infection prevention committee nurses to schedule themselves to work that day so that they can attend or offer education hours for staff to come in and attend hospital-level meetings. This will assist us in establishing professional obligations and accountability, as well as empowering nurses' professional development and growth. Number four is by promoting self-care. Nurses who maintain a healthy work-life balance are better nurses. Burnout nurses endangers patient safety, nurse engagement, and turnover. So how can we promote self-care? It is by ensuring that nurses have enough time off and leave their shifts on time. We should also encourage the use of PTO when it is available and avoid calling nurses at home for things that can wait until they arrive for the shift. Last but not the least is to create a mentorship program. Mentorship is a two-person relationship in which one person has more experience than the other. A strong mentorship relationship can help to retain employees, develop experienced nurses, and aid in succession planning. How can we do this? This relationship allows the new nurse or mentee to meet with an experienced nurse one-on-one to discuss topics such as career goals, work stressors, time management, and how to overcome them. This type of relationship improves staff resilience and can increase nurse engagement and retention. We should always remember that as a nurse leaders, we are responsible for providing the resources and support that nurses require to promote professional development. And that is by accomplishing the 5 strategies that we have discussed. Thank you.
In the summary of our presentation, training refers to the process of that companies use to teach employees skills they need for their current job. Development focuses on the career progression of every employee and based on each individual's career goals and areas of improvement. Canada Labor Code defines the rights and responsibilities of workers and employers in federally regulated workplaces and sets out federal labor law. There are 3 rights of employees: right to know, right to participate, and the right to refuse. There are 4 barriers of training employees: work overload due to professional commitment, insufficient funds, lack of resources, and resistance to change. Motivational interviewing, bringing education to nurses, encourage shared governance, promote self-care, and create a mentorship program are some of the strategies for nurses' growth. Continuous nursing development is critical for the professional development of nursing personnel.
So these are the references for our topic. So thank you. So by the way, I'm Richmond.
I am Marneli.
And I am Froilan.
And I am Kathryn, and we would like to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.